All right, Anthony Hartwig here with a Canfield girls basketball player profile. I am joined by Grace McQuiston, good old number zero. Grace, thanks so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
You got it. Let's talk about this year and the senior season that you're going into. What has it been like trying to, deal with all the emotions that senior year can bring?
It's a really exciting time, but it's also really sad, like leaving all my friends and all that. But it's really exciting to like take the next step and go into college and hopefully play in college in the future too after this year. So I'm excited, but it's also sad to be leaving all my friends, especially considering I've only been with this group of girls for 3 years, 2.5.
Has the reality of senior year hit yet? Has it have you realized that it's senior year?
Definitely. Once I was starting to like apply for colleges, I was like, wow, this is like this is real. Like I'm gonna be leaving here in a couple months.
What are you doing to try to kind of just take in every game and take in every moment and try to treasure it as much as you can, knowing, like you said, this is your last go around and this is the last time you're going to play with these girls.
We all just try and make it fun and do everything we can to obviously win, and we just try and make it fun. But I mean, it's not. We're really just trying to win, but it's a lot more fun that way. But we do a lot of like we're just a fun group. Like we're always really close, and we'll like go out to eat sometimes. We'll like go get breakfast in the mornings after an early morning practice. So we really just try and spend as much time as we can together.
You've been able to build your leadership tools with these fellow seniors that you have, and all of you are kind of in the same boat where it's kind of your time to shine because last year's team was full of very good seniors in their own right that had their own leadership capabilities. So now here we are this season where it's your turn to be a senior and a leader. What's that been like transitioning from last year to this year and trying to be the best senior leaders that you can be?
The other seniors, they left a really good mark on us. We really learned a lot from Abby, Carly, Kate, and Emmy. We learned a lot from them. And we just learned how to be like good leaders through them. And I think all of the other girls, we also had like Jenna and Carly, they're stepping up too and being good leaders. So it's not even just us, it's all of us. And we all try and lead in our own way.
When those seniors left, I think everyone knew that Canfield girls basketball was going to have a different look this year. You know, there are going to be a lot of new faces, and you haven't missed a beat so far yet this season. What's that been like to kind of have being good at different things and trying to find the identity with this team?
I think right now we're all just trying to find like our specific jobs or roles on the team because our chemistry, the other team had a lot of chemistry because they've been playing for so long together. That was kind of a main goal of us over the summer. We needed to get our chemistry together because we haven't really played as much together as long as they have, or maybe they have, but we haven't like all played together as a group, especially with some new faces like me, Jenna, and Carly specifically. We all needed to kind of get our chemistry together. So we're more of a running down the court and get a layup team because we're all pretty fast. So I mean, we're still good shooters, but we still our jobs are different than they were last year.
Let's talk about the last game out. We can't not talk about it because it was such a dramatic win for you guys. The three at the buzzer to beat Marlington, and it was one of those games where, the offense wasn't going the way anyone wanted to in the first half, but you guys were able to stay confident and grind through a tough game. What was it like to be a part of that moment when you see Cammy take that shot and then you'll watch the ball, it goes in, and you know that you just won one of the best games that you'll probably ever win in your career.
Oh yeah, it was great. I remember I was just sitting in the corner. I was waiting just in case, and I remember watching the shot go up. I was like, oh my gosh! And then it went in, and I just ran over and we all just tackled her. That was the only right way to handle that. I mean, that was a great game. That was a great game to play in.
What is a win like that right before the break and going into now the quote unquote second half of the season? What does that do for this team?
I think that really gives us some motivation to show us like how good we really can be, especially considering that we were down 18-6 at halftime. It really shows us how much potential we have once we like really put our mind to it, once we really focus. Because, like you said in the first half, we really weren't making a lot of shots at all. But I mean, we only had 6 points, but um, I think it really showed us. And then as we continue on to the season, we continue to build up upon that, off of that win and other learning experiences from other games, like our last game. So really learning off of that too.
The basketball adage is shooters shoot, and you live that to the fullest. You didn't stop shooting in that second half. You never stopped shooting. What does that confidence come from? Like, what gives you that confidence, and what draws it to you?
I've just put so much time in. Like every morning before school, I always go and shoot free throws. I always stay after practice, and shoot. It's just really hours and shots put up. You know, if you put the time in and the work in, you know it's gonna pay off eventually. So if I'm shooting, at least one has to go in eventually, I guess. So
When you talk about all that work you put in, obviously there has to be a driving force to that because you're able to drive through the days where maybe you don't want to go take shots or days where you don't want to go to practice and you drive through them. What gives you that inner drive to work so hard at basketball?
really, a lot of it comes from my dad, and my mom passed away like about a year ago now. So that really gives me a lot of motivation from that. A lot of motivation, so I can really like be like do it for her. And I just I want to go play college basketball, so that's definitely a big motivator too to go and put the work in and get there.
When we ask most players about adversity, what they have had to go through throughout their career, you've had to go through more than most. Not a lot of players have to say they lost a parent. What was that like for you to try to get through that, and obviously have so many players and so many teammates and so many sisters to help you get through that? Now, like you said, you use it as motivation to come out and try to play every day for her and everything you're going through. So talk about that, what it was like to go through that, and what it was like to build with this Canfield, community through that time.
At the time it was rough, but I'll never forget the day of my funeral or the day of her funeral. All of my teammates and my coaches and even some of the parents, like the Harmons, they came to my mom's funeral, and that really showed me that like this is a sisterhood and this is a family, and I love these girls and they're always there for you. And it was really great. And through that, I just we all I really earned they got my respect from that. And none of like my other teammates or anything from anywhere else ever came. It was just all the Canfield girls, and it was really nice and to know that they were all there for me. So
We're
it really showed me for sure.
we're talking about the work that you put in and some of the things that you do to continue to make yourself a better basketball player. What do you think is the biggest growth that you've had in your game from last year to this year?
From this year to last year, I would say a lot more confidence and I'm getting a lot more rebounds too. Last year I only got a lot of like a few offensive rebounds here and there, but now I'm getting a lot more rebounds, and I think I'm reading like the offense well, and like I can get a pass out there to say Cavi Ritz if there's a defender that comes to me. I think I read the defense well on offense compared to last year, and confidence for sure with my shot.
This coaching staff is one of the most respected ones in the area. You got Matt Reel, who's been doing it at Canfield for a while, been doing it overall for a while, and of course his assistants have been doing it for a while as well. Coach Pav was there before he was, and then just kind of moved over to the assistant role. What's it like to be coached by these guys, and what's this coaching staff do for you?
They're always there for me, and it's intense, but it's good. Like yesterday we had a 2-hour long practice and we really pushed it to get ready for it today. And they just really pushed us to make us really, really prepared for our games. Coach Real goes out and scouts all the time for whoever we're playing and our next opponent and whatnot. So we're always really prepared, and if we're not awake or we're not ready for practice or for a game, they make sure that we're ready. They get us ready to make sure that we're ready to go so we can get a win for sure.
We only get to see Coach Reel on the sidelines. It's all we get to see. We don't get to see him nearly as much as you do. What's something about Coach Reel that you think everyone else should know that doesn't get to see him in practices?
Um, oh boy. He, he really pushes us. That's like the main thing. Like like I said, if we are not awake, he will get us ready. We always do these things in practices we have our daily quotes, and it always goes with something that we are doing at practice, or it'll be like our main focus. or even if it was something to go along with um like the game before. Like yesterday it was Steph Curry's quote, good shooters are going to shoot it the same way every time, going with how we haven't been shooting the ball as well as we can or have been. So, he knows he knows really well where to push us and how to push us with everything. And if we're not doing well, then he's going to make sure that we're doing well.
When you have a coach like that, I mean, does it make it easier to believe what he says when he's trying to get you guys to, and he pushes you guys and he knows that, he wants to see you reach your whole full potential?
Mhm. Yeah, I think it definitely helps that he wants to push us and make us the best players that we can be for sure. Definitely makes it easier to believe him rather than it just being someone that's like, oh, whatever, I don't really
Right.
like care.
When you think about your future, we have to talk about your life after high school, even though we don't want to see you go. It's the reality of seniors, though. You got to graduate, you got to move on. What are some of the things that are in your path in the future? What are some goals that you have after you graduate Canfield?
So after I graduate Canfield, I would love to go and play college ball somewhere. I'm not really sure where yet, but I have a couple ideas. And then whenever I'm in college, I want to study psych and criminal justice, so then I can later on go into family law, hopefully.
All right, so let's talk about a couple things. First, we'll just do the basketball side of that. Obviously, you haven't made your decision yet. Hopefully, when you do, you bring it to YSN. You make it an exclusive decision. Well, we'll love to
Mhm.
gas you up. But when you're talking about like things you're looking for, things that you want to see in a coaching staff and a program to make that decision, what things do you look for?
I want to have a coach that is approachable and that I can have a conversation with and not just like, I guess, talk down to me or make me feel like terrible. I would love to just have a coach that I instantly click with. And because there's vibes you get off of people, and it's just like you don't click with this person, but then there's this other person that you instantly click with, and that's what I'm looking for. So,
And then when we talk about the major that you went up, and then obviously family law that you want to eventually get yourself at, and criminal justice is the major that you're going to have to use to get to that. What gave you a passion for being going through that path and wanting to be in that career field?
well, my dad has always been fighting for my little brother to have custody of him and stuff. So I just see how the justice system works, and it really it makes me want to go and do something in it to maybe make it better, do it for the better, and to do everything I can to like go help somebody else in the same situation.
When you when did you kind of find yourself like saying like this is something I really want to do, or I have a passion for this and I want to pursue that career?
I'd say probably about a year ago, like whenever I first started like going on visits and stuff, and I was like, like I actually have to figure out like what I want to do in college. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, this is something that I would really like to do, go into family law. So I just think that it's something I'd be passionate about for sure.
All right, let's talk about off the court Grace McQuiston a little bit. Get to know you before we let you go. What are some things that you like to do that don't have anything to do with basketball to give your mind that kind of mental break?
If I mean, I guess this does kind of go with basketball, but I like to go and work out and go lift. That really gets my mind off of a lot of things. Other than that, I just like to relax and like go hang out with my friends, maybe like go get crumble or go to Target or something, like the normal stuff. But other than that, I just like to hang out.
What is one thing that you spend more money on than you probably should?
Oh my gosh, probably Starbucks. My
What's
dad
the
can attest to that.
is it Starbucks almost every day?
Oh no, I don't get it that much.
Okay, so you're not one of those people.
No, I'd say probably like maybe like once or twice a week. It depends though.
What's the go-to order?
Oh my gosh. I probably a iced caramel latte right now or a nice chai with
What was
vanilla.
your last impulse buy? A thing that you just saw and you said I gotta have it, so you have it.
Um, hmm, hmm. I don't I don't really impulse buy. If I impulse buy, then like it's gonna be food. Like if I see like new like crumble cookie out. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I have to get that. So I mean, that was probably my last one. I don't really like buy
Nothing
things.
wrong with that. No, you're driving
No.
around. You say, "Oh, I just passed Crumble."
Yeah,
That's a
you're
good
like, oh,
idea.
that's
Um,
exactly.
let's talk about teammates. What teammate do you text the most? Do you think?
Um, I'd say, hmm, I'd say I probably text like all the seniors about the same, unless, well, after I got my car accident, I texted Kimmy Dill a lot for rides, for sure. She's my go-to ride person.
What teammate do you think is the most like you? Like fits your personality the most?
Oh, hmm. I'd say probably Macy. Macy and I have a lot of like, we're both pretty hard-nosed people, I'd
We'll
say.
go to the opposite side of that spectrum. What teammate is like the opposite of personality from you?
Um, Carly. She's pretty quiet in practice, and she just kind of keeps to herself. She's pretty quiet, so
All
Carly.
right, Grace, we want to thank you so much. Before we let you go, though, we do want to give you the time to thank your support system, the people in your life that have your back, that have always had your back throughout your career. I want to give you the time to shine a light on them and give as many shout outs as you want.
No, I'm really thankful for my dad. All he's done, he's been there for me for everything. He's done everything for me. He's really been there for me. My grandparents, my grandma, my grandpa, they come over to every game. And if my grandma can't come to one, then I know my grandpa's going to be there. My coaches, Coach Real, Coach Pav, Coach Nesbitt, even my old coaches, Coach Real, I mean, not Coach Real, Coach Fish, Coach Kohler, they were really there for me. Coach Scott, um, Coach Mark Metzka, Coach Joe, they both been my skill coaches. My mom, she was here. She was always there for me, always supportive, my biggest fan. Um, my older brother, he's really there for me all the time if I ever need anything. Um, oh yeah, and all my teammates, my sisters.
You can't leave the teammates out.
No, you
Can't do
can't.
it. Grace, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We wish you the best of luck in the rest of the season, and we can't wait to talk to you in real soon.
Oh, thank you.